when it's raining. Players only love you when they're playing. And they will go. Makes you know. Players only love you when they're playing. Got me? Morning from Yummy B TV. Wishing you all well. Sending loads of love to you all as usual. On a better day coming from down here from Yummy B TV. Just got to get on the train and go to the studio. Wishing you all well. Now, this morning's video, you might find it funny, but Uncle Yummy points clearly to the facts and the way I know it about, so-called good-looking gangsters. You know what I mean? Because there seems to be a link with good-looking geezers or suave-looking geezers or rugged, kind of handsome-looking geezers who fit the profile of this so-called epitomizing what a gangster really looks like. I mean, where did it all come from? But there is a link between it. And I point firmly today to a lot of men that I met, that I believe, that had the X Factor with the good looks, that even before you meet them, and you heard their name over a number of years, you see them and you think, that's him, That's who they're talking about. And it happened with all the ones that I met. Before I met them, I knew who they was. So reputation and looks count for loads, Yummy B says. And we juggle it around a little bit, right? And I know there's many of you watching me who I'm going to be naming in this video today. And I look at, first of all, I'll try to come up with an answer about who I believe had the most of everything to go with that shit life that we're all paying for in the end, if you get what I mean. Now, I looked at Catwalk Kevin Lane, right, before I met him, right? So when he came onto the wing, I was in a Cat A, and Kev came on. I didn't need, because there were rumours that he was on his way back to this particular Cat A. And when I set eyes on him, right, without being introduced to him, I immediately knew who he was. The tallness, dark hair, the suave looks, the staff, they were pittering and pattering around him as he was coming on the wing with his kit. You got a couple of geezers was helping him carry his bags through the thing. The Cat A's is like that, especially when there's a lot of love for you, and a lot of men have got that. Everywhere you go, there'll be a crowd waiting for you and will help you carry your kit over. It's the way the game goes. Now, Kevin, character-wise, brooding, sometimes charismatic in a certain way, yes, and of course, could throw his fist and all that. So, was he the full package? Uncle Yummy gives the heads up to Kevin Lane. Now, when Brother Tony Argent in the old days, we're talking, we're saying maybe a lot of these men carry their looks into old age, like me and some of us, right? Some might not, if you get what I mean. So you might not have a rough idea about how they looked in their 20s and 30s. Now, Tony Argent, when I first met Tony had the gold teeth. His hair was kind of brown, fairy, with a bit of blonde in it, I think. Like kind of, it wasn't all one colour, if you get what I mean. Can't really distinguish between what the accuracy of the hair was when I first met my brother Tony Argent. But straight away, as soon as he opened his mouth, Tony says, if I was matching everyone up, well, in some ways, they all act the same. Like short sentences, walking down the landing. Everybody kind of talks to each other, hello, all the big names, kind of, but without really getting close. But Tony, with his looks as well, you knew when you looked at Tony, he fit the profile. And he epitomizes what a so-called gangster looks like as well. It's an appealing factor to people that haven't got the looks, who can't have a row, who haven't got that aura and presence about them, where they can walk in somewhere on their own and people go, who's he? Right? If you get what I mean now, right? If I'm going a bit off there. Right, so that's two I put down. a geezer called Peter O'Toole from Birmingham as well. A legend, a hitman and that kind of stuff, right? Kind of same height, 6 foot odd, lean, slim, good looks as well. Pull a bird, Peter O'Toole, trust me. Character though, Peter O'Toole, funny. I would say Peter O'Toole was funnier than Tony A and Kevin Lane. Yeah, I would, 100%. His character, Peter O'Toole, very, very charismatic. And all these, well, I suppose, you know what I realise as well, it depends, because like my character, say, smaller version to Peter O'Toole, like, I got off on him straight away because his jokes and his one-liners were making me laugh. You don't say that Kevin and Tony's thing don't make me laugh, but Peter O'Toole stuff, when he drops his sense of humour, Uncle Yummy says, yes, 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 you lot down in Brum, 100%. Now, looked at Slaney, my height, again, right? Slaney had red hair though, so like the times when I saw Slaney, he had bald, his head was bald, but Slaney's a good-looking boy. Like, he was more, I suppose we could say, 20s and 30s, smooth, would we dare say it? No, and he hasn't got dead eyes. He hasn't got killer's eyes, Slaney. No, piercing. Kevin Lane, Tony Archer, Peter O'Toole. No, not dead eyes. You're not scared when you see them. No, you ain't. You ain't. You're not just like Belfield and Sweeney, and where you think, oh, they killed this and they might have done that, and I heard they done this and that. When you see them, you're going to think, you could think, we're thinking in the gangsters' terms and all that again, which is bullshit. But you look at them, you think, they could have done, but you wouldn't see them stepping over the line on other things, if you get what I mean. You know what I mean. You know they're approachable in that way. So you're not really ugly individuals internally and inside and spiritually. Yeah? So I did put Sane in there. Now, there's a big shout for the great Yummy B. Like, on my messengers and WhatsApp, they said, yeah, but, Charlie Tozer's nephew and Michael McCann and Uncle George and all of the main Fran Charles, all the girls even as well. They said, yeah, but Yummy, they're not better looking than you. But hold on, I can't hold the title. I wasn't tall enough, mate. You needed that extra to be 6 foot, 5'11", 6 foot. You know what I mean? I'll probably get the bestie cutie, because you know that I was the baby out of everyone. We've got to accept that. I was the one wrapped up in cotton wool. Yeah, but I can't claim to be, even though when we're all out on the outside and we're going out, I walk into somewhere, and if you don't know who I am, it lights up the room. It does, energy-wise, that kind of stuff as well. And even in my days throughout the 90s and the beginning, I could turn up in the middle of nowhere and still get who's that kind of thing. Energy, looks, you know what I mean? All right, chest, physique, little psycho eyes sometimes. But all of us got that, little brooding eyes where, yeah, you know what I mean, when it gets serious, but not like that full time. A lot of us, no, it wasn't that. So I can't put myself at the top of the tree on this one, because we'd have to be the smoothest and the cutest and yeah, I mean, you know what I mean? But to be that profile-y, 6 foot odd with the rest of what I've got, maybe not as pretty as Uncle Yummy, but rugged, handsome, good looking, a lot of those boys there. But I looked at Reggie Cray, Terry Adams, Kenny Noy, maybe, no, but hold on, and a Longfellow. And I sort of thought to myself, right, I said to myself, Kenny Noy, there's something, but it's more rugged without being, there's a couple of things that point you think, you could get a lady, you know what I mean? But Reggie Cray, it's weird because you see him in later life. He's obviously, I'm seeing him when he's older, but then you see pictures of him in films. When you watch all the films, all these Robert De Niro, what's his name that plays Reggie Cray with their hair slicked back, and you know what I mean? Think about it. The gangster, so-called, look, right? And we're led to believe that these figures, so when you see these figures in real life, you think, well, they look like those on TV and they're acting like them a little bit, right? So, Terry, the Longfellow. tall, even going into age as well, the pair of them, when you meet them, right, who's that? You know what I mean? 100%. Carried himself proper, da-da-da-da-da. Uncle Yummy clearly points to the long fella as with the looks and looking younger than everyone in later life as well. Uncle Dave, yeah, tall, the charisma, the character, the jokes, the one-liners, the wisdom, the whole lot package put together without a shadow of a doubt with the heart of gold. I am tell in that particular way, but for the look itself, you know what I mean? The best way to describe it all, right, as I say, because I don't want to drag this out. You lot wishing I'd drag this one out in it because there was loads more to talk about. All that lot, we all had in common. Like you look at Joey Barnett, was rugged, kind of good looking when he was younger. Joe with his gold teeth and all that. Joe, Joe Barnett was had that little presence and that kind of stuff. But what I was going to say, the one thing that everybody had in common is they loved the mirror, mate. And forever in the day, I think when we was all growing up and we wanted to be like you and that kind of stuff. And how do we do it? How do we fix our face? What does it all mean? You know what I mean? The mirror was the one thing. And the one thing I put in common with a lot of those guys that I just mentioned there. We'll do some more on this, because there's loads more meant to talk about. Andy Shacks as well, very, very good looking. Andy Shacks in with looks and presence and aura as well. We've got to be honest, but we're going to debate who was one day, or is there actual link? But the one thing we all had in common, could have been great actors as well, mate. The art of keeping still and looking and thinking and less is more and that kind of stuff. So I finally want to start in the morning, just what you lot will have to say, Yummy, what about this one and that one? But there's more to come on this as well in a psychological way, all right? And let's not forget Russell McVicker with that long George Best there. Very, very a pretty boy, stroke good looking as well, with the rough edges around those eyes as well. Loads of love. See you in a minute.